Welcome to the Senior Estate Concierge Show. At Senior Estate Concierge, our mission is to bridge the gaps in the senior services industry and provide a highly compassionate, trusted, and caring team of professional solution providers and resources for seniors and families dealing with life changes and challenges. Find us online at seniorestateconcierge.com.
Senior Estate Concierge podcasts are designed to be informational and educational while featuring trustworthy service providers, and are also made possible through the support of a select group of sponsors. Griswold Home Care for West Houston offers in-home, non-medical services designed to support your loved ones with kindness and dignity. Their services include companionship, meal preparation, light housekeeping, and personal assistance, all tailored to meet your family's unique needs. Enjoy peace of mind knowing your loved ones are receiving the care they deserve in the comfort of the place they love. Contact Biting Dietrich at 713-248-6669 to schedule your free consultation, or visit griswoldhomecare.com for more information. This is Gail Stolzenburg, growth consultant for Senior Estate Concierge, with another podcast for one of our members. This week, we are featuring Colin Acheson of Blue Moon Estate Sales of Katy, and a member of the West Chapter. So, Colin, let's start off with a little bit of your background, where you're born, the schools, and so forth.
Well, first, Gail, I'd like to thank you very much for inviting me onto this podcast and going back a ways, making me aware of the Senior Estate Concierge, of which I'm now a member. So, going back to your question, I'm a native of Northern Ireland. My family moved to Canada while I was still pretty young, but after a few years, they decided to return to the UK, and they settled in Scotland. 1970 wasn't a particularly good time to go back to Northern Ireland if you didn't have to. My mother's from Scotland. That's where I grew up. Then I went to the University of Bristol to study engineering. After a few years after that, working in the oil industry, I then went back and studied for a master's degree in computer science. In the 1980s, of course, computer science was it was a fledgling thing, but computers were becoming ever more important. And over time, of course, they took us to where we are now to a large extent. So since then, I've worked in oil and gas exploration, X-ray analytics, medical diagnostics, and amongst other industries, focusing mainly on software engineering and working for corporations, large and not so large.
Okay, great. Why did you join the Senior Estate Concierge?
Okay, let me talk about Blue Moon Estate Sales first, if you wouldn't mind, Gail.
Surely.
I had for some time considered running my own business after many years as an employee in various corporations. One day in 2018, I was reading the Sunday paper and I saw this advertisement there for the Houston Franchise Expo, and I thought, well, here, why not go along and take a look and see what's on offer? So I went along a week after to that expo and got talking to a couple of people, and I got presented with a number of different sort of possible franchise concepts, none of which I thought were particularly interesting. But anyway, I got another job around that time after pursuing that for a few weeks, and the whole thing went in the back burner. That is, at least until COVID came along and sort of knocked many of our jobs for six yet again. And I picked up that franchise investigation again around that time. And this time, one of the things that was proposed was Blue Moon Estate Sales. Now, Blue Moon Estate Sales was something quite different. It was much more sort of a social interaction, much more involvement directly with the community and with with people, which of course is quite different to what I was doing in engineering, which you're mainly dealing where you're mainly dealing with things rather than people. So I thought, hey, why not? It's going to be now or never. So at that time, I thought, well, let's give this a shot. Let's establish a company and let's see how the estate sale business is in the Houston area. And so that's really how Blue Moon Estate Sales came about. That was in late 2020. I went through training, and then in 2021 we opened the business.
Excellent. Now, let me ask you, why did you join the Senior Estate Concierge?
So the Senior Estate Concierge is a group that's sort of a lot more focused on our target market than other forms of networking. Of course, you open up a business, whether it's a franchise business or not, then sort of you're confronted with a whole lot business of business development and networking and all those activities you get involved with, joining chambers of commerce and other networking groups and so forth. So the Senior Estate Concierge was introduced to me by yourself, Gail Stolzenburg, and we talked about it sort of 2 or 3 times, I think, and then eventually I said, okay, well, let's go along, take a look, see how the chapter operates, and see if that's a good fit for my business. I said, well, yes, this does seem to be something that would be well worthwhile, it really is, with TSEC's mission to bridge the gaps in the senior services industry and provide a caring team of providers and resources for families dealing with aging family members. Definitely there's a place for Blue Moon Estate Sales in that network. And so, along with the recently initiated venture by Blue Moon into senior move management, which I'm a member of the pilot group, TSEC membership there's even more relevant to our core business. So it's one of the places to be.
Excellent. Appreciate that. So now, exactly how does your business fit in with the Senior Estate Concierge? And tell us a little bit about the operations of it, too.
Certainly. Okay. So a large part of the estate sales business is with individuals and families, in particular seniors, who are downsizing due to advancing age and the need to adjust their living circumstances. As one of the 6 participants in Blue Moon's Senior Move Management Pilot Program, we are tasked with helping seniors, that being the target clientele of the TSEC membership, make that transition successfully. If an estate sale is part of the process, then so much the better. We've got a lot of experience in doing estate sales, as you kind of might imagine. So from there, where did we go? I do have a case study here, which brings to mind a client, a husband and wife, who we worked with earlier on in 2024. They were moving from their home in an over 55 community to an apartment in an independent living facility. And they had sort of obviously to try and shoehorn maybe 2,000 square feet of a home, garage, and backyard into something like several hundred square feet of the new apartment that they were moving into. So needless to say, there was a lot of stuff left over that they weren't going to take with them. And our job was to liquidate those assets in order to then sort of empty the property and make it ready for listing. Now, as happens quite often, the referral to this client came from the client's realtor, obviously somebody who has an interest in sort of making sure that the house gets ready for listing and for sale. A lot of our referrals do come from realtors because they often tend to be the people who are sort of the first point of contact for people in that situation. Obviously, realtors are featured in as members of TSEC as well, and that's a good thing because they're in that position to be able to help other members with referrals. So there we are, talking about this couple. What we do is we after we sign the contract, set the dates for the sale, we send in our crew of typically 4 to 6 people into the property they start on the Tuesday morning in the week leading up to the sale. They will go into the house and go through every single cupboard, drawer, closet, everywhere, and find everything that there is to find. We make use of countertops that are there in the house and other surfaces, and we then bring in our own tables, benches, and tablecloths and so forth. And the objective is to set up a nice sort of a walkable, relaxing environment, similar to, say, an upscale retail store, in order for our customers to come in and shop at the weekend. We price everything with research sort of online, and both sort of using sort of current values for for used goods. We price everything with stickers so that it's easy for customers to find out what the prices are when they're browsing the sale. We use barcode technology, so therefore our checkout process is very quick and speedy, and we do get a lot of compliments from our customers about sort of the reduced wait times.
MedPro USA Health Services delivers compassionate, personalized home health care. Their skilled professionals provide expert nursing, therapy, and daily living assistance, all tailored to your unique needs. Enjoy quality care in the comfort of your home. Contact Mila Kill, that's MILAKIL, at info@mpuhealthservices.com or call 713-932-0017 today.
After the sale, after the sale, of course, we do our accounting, and then so they settle with the client, and then everything is good thereafter, and help where needed with clearing out anything that didn't get sold during the sale. And this client, so what makes a good estate sale? A good estate sale features what we call attractors. And attractors are things that are sort of are things that people sort of or communities or groups or have a special interest in. For example, collectors. If we have collections in an estate sale, that's generally a really good indicator of the way that the estate sale is going to go. So we push that in our advertising when we have it. Other things that are of interest are sort of local and historical artifacts. This is Texas, and if you've got Texas-themed stuff, that sells like wildfire. And the other thing that's good for the sale is a well-equipped garage. A well-equipped garage brings in the guys. And of course, the guys bring the better half, and the better half shops the house. So you get two for the price of one in terms of shoppers. Now, okay, what about this sale? Okay, did they have anything like that? Yes, of course they did. In this case, the husband was an avid flight simulator enthusiast. So he had all equipment that was needed to simulate being in the cockpit, including pictures of airplane windows pasted to the walls of the room. And that was quite a sort of they caused a few smiles when we first went and visited them. They also had fish. They kept fish not only in an indoor aquarium. And there's one thing about indoor aquariums. You'd be surprised that in estate sales, aquariums always sell. People will come, they'll want an aquarium, even the big ones that sort of carry gallons and gallons and gallons of water and are really difficult to move. They'll buy the tank, they'll buy the fish, they'll get it all set up where they're in their house, and then they're sort of I do check up with them, and they say the fish are doing just great. So that's one thing that happens quite a lot. We even had one customer who actually hired a U-Haul specifically so we could transport the large aquarium out of our client's house back to his own place. What else was there? Yes, okay. They also kept fish in the backyard in the pond as well. And these were fairly large fish. And we had sort of one customer who was determined that he was going to buy those fish. So he spent a lot of time sort of in the backyard, sort of occupied trying to snare these fish one by one, and provided much entertainment for other customers who were watching him. So yes, that was that. That pretty much explains, I hope, the ins and outs of what we do.
Excellent job, and I enjoyed the case study, and I'm looking forward to being at one of the estate sales. So I know you're a very, very busy individual, Colin, and but you must have some spare time. What do you do when you're not working?
Well, apart from sort of continue to build the estate sales business, to serve more clients in need, whether related to senior moves or not. And then we've got this senior move management pilot program to navigate and hopefully reach a successful conclusion with. If I do have any spare time left after that and after my day job, then it's a blessing if I get even half a day to work in the backyard.
Well, I know that our listeners would like to get in touch with you. Can you tell us good contact information for you, Colin?
Absolutely, Gail. Yes. So our telephone number, Blue Moon Estate Sales or Katy, is 832-614-8490. Or you can visit our website at www.bluemoonestatesales.com/Katy-TX. And we encourage you to use the website to post inquiries if, for example, you are in need of an estate sale or have any questions about our process or anything else that we may be able to help you with.
Excellent. I want to thank you so much, Colin, for sharing that information. And this concludes our podcast. But for our listeners, be sure and share this podcast with your associates. And also go to seniorestateconcierge.com for more information. And you can listen to the other podcasts. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? It is the absolute best way to grow your brand, spread your message, and build your following. Fresh Media Works can help. We do all the heavy lifting, and you just focus on your message. To find out how easy we can make launching your new podcast, call 713-269-4620 or check us out at freshmediaworks.com.